Hi everybody. Happy Saturday. I just, totally not a planned live, but I was like, well, I have Baby Bunny out, so I could probably just do a live for a little bit. Welcome everybody. I'm sure notifications did not go out, which would not surprise me at all, which is fine. I just need to make sure I share this with everybody. We were doing a video as a pre-recorded earlier, and it was on this lawsuit. Where did my tab go? It just ran away. My tab was like, I'm out of here, bye. It left. It's all good. Immediately YouTube flagged my video, so I was like, damn it, this video's not even going to get out because of the content, which is, I get it. Sometimes this is an area I think that people don't talk about a lot as far as the Christian music scene and whatnot. So it's completely flagged, which really sucks. So yeah, but make sure you guys watch it. Hit the like button because it does help support. We had to buy court documents and everything, so hopefully it'll get out and it'll be shared. I did not see anybody touch on this. I mean, not even Law and Crime touch on the suit, which we're going to talk about here. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it because I've already covered it over there. But we'll wait for people to get in here. Yeah, YouTube only gives creators 3 notifications per 24 hours. You're right. So this is like my second one. So, but not Tinkle. Like they don't always do that. Even that they don't always do. Because I know many people who tell me I didn't even get my notification. So I was like, okay, well, there's that. I haven't even taken the first drink of my coffee yet. Let's stir that because it needs to be stirred. So it needs to be stirred. I am trying to have them review it, especially because I did censor myself, Kool-Aid. I did censor myself throughout the lawsuit. We'll talk a little bit about the lawsuit before we get started on the other stuff too, since it's on the title. But it's a different music industry. Like I didn't even. So let me tell you what happened during the week. I saw that the only people that actually talked about this lawsuit, and it's for those that don't know what I'm talking about, it is the Stacie Orrico lawsuit. We'll get started now. The Stacie Orrico lawsuit. So Stacie is somebody she's well known in the Christian music industry. Okay. And, I've heard people talk about the Christian music industry, right? And just in general, overall how crazy it is, how competitive it is and everything. And so I just always felt like, all right, like I've never really heard, we hear about, there's gospel lawsuits out there, like even actively, there's some people that have been exposed and whatnot just recently in the gospel scene. I've heard of people, getting charges, and some of these people are like charges, that have Grammys and stuff like that, right? And then they're around children and whatnot. And so then something happens, right? They get caught up, and as they should get caught up and whatnot. So they get in trouble. So this young girl who made it to the Christian music industry through like a talent show, right, in Colorado, she was noticed, she was recognized, and she was immediately signed. And these music executives, they all kind of prepackaged her, right? Because she's young, she's beautiful. And even when you look at her, I mean, this is around the time, this is like millennial era, right? When you're looking at her, she kind of she's got this like millennial look about her. So that's when I was looking at her, I said, oh my God, like, yeah, she gives that. I'll show you guys a picture here for those that don't know who I'm talking about. But she was at the time, she was pretty huge in the Christian base. This is like one of her first single. And I never really heard of her music, honestly. Never. So this was like a first to me. So this is her, beautiful, gorgeous girl, right? Dream come true. She signs, she is kind of, they're packaging her, working with her. And then, she was raised Christian. So it kind of all aligns, right? Like she's Christian and she's singing in this Christian, company and stuff like that. And so it's all aligning, right? So then she starts getting basically groomed by one of the heads of this company, and people around her start noticing this. And I mean, and I have to ask the question, like, where were her parents? Because it sounds like even her parents were traveling with her. And so to me, it's weird because it's like, you have the music industry portion of this, but then you also have like this, grooming aspect of this situation where, like, you know, the guy starts positioning himself in a situation where he's a spiritual advisor. He's giving her Bible lessons. And then he's having to, like, she reports back to him about these Bible lessons. In addition to that, also managing her career. So he's kind of like this all in one person for her at this point, right? Advisor, friend, manager, everything. Like, he has put himself in that position. And so then when she sells her first album made it pretty big. And so then after that, it's when, the grooming and the abuse started. And she would travel with her mom, and her mom, it's like, they're in the corner praying and whatnot. And I'm thinking mom's not thinking anything's wrong, because why would a setting like this be a hub for any of these perpetrators to perpetrate on anybody, right? Why would that even be why would that even happen there, right? So, it happens a couple times. And right around the time that she, I guess, turns 18 is when they basically dropped her. The company knew about all this abuse and didn't do anything, didn't say anything or anything like that. There's a police report out there. I mean, I have to even side eye the parents. I'm going to be very honest with you, because one of the employees of the company told dad, and then she went back to the company, and then, like, also the guy was there too, like, again, perpetrated in her again. So it was like there was no way of actually saving her or stopping. I don't know. By the time she turned 18, she had already had a significant amount of trauma that definitely transitioned, or at least looked like physical symptoms of this trauma, right? Which is, you know can't sleep, can't sing, can't, like, nothing, like, you can't function. That's what SA will do to you, in that, like, when you're in that traumatic space. I don't know if they just acted like they didn't know, or they were brand new, or what, but they didn't do anything. She says in the lawsuit that she's estranged from her parents. But like I said, I didn't see anybody, any major media, anybody pick up this lawsuit other than TMZ, who reported on it. So I said, well, I got kind of curious, all right, because um I was like, I'm just gonna pull it from the Los Angeles Superior Court. And I started reading it, and I said, oh my God, like, this is twofold. It's not just the music industry, it's the religious institutions too, right? That they position themselves in a situation where, counselors, camp counselors, whatever religious leader, I mean, that they weaponize that, and they kind of get to her. She dropped out of school at the age of 14 to go sing full time. Like, there was a lot of ish going on here. So, and I'm not familiar with the music, but even the songs, I was like, well, they were trying to make her kind of like this, like, clean, well-to-do girl pop. Okay, so she kind of gave that aesthetic. If you look at her, I mean, she kind of she mirrors a little bit of Christina Aguilera, even in this album cover. So yeah, and she wanted to protect. She didn't speak out until this lawsuit dropped. She wanted to protect her image. She had to protect the image of the industry and all these people around there. I mean, we just had lawsuits. I believe there was somebody who was like a gospel artist who perpetrated on a bunch of people too. I mean, like I said, proximity is everything. And then using Jesus as a weapon and all this other stuff. I mean, people don't ever think about how you can be victimized in a setting like that. So I suggest you guys go watch my video. I uploaded it this morning. We were watching it, and some of you guys weren't even familiar. I was like, wow, yeah, I didn't even know. I didn't know. And so I uploaded it this morning. Let me know what you guys think. It's the full lawsuit, but I wanted to bring it to your attention because YouTube flagged it, which really, really sucks, because when it's flagged, it's kind of hard to get around, and, all the work that we put in on the videos and whatnot. Hold up. Let me let everybody know. Okay. So we're going to get started on the next topic. Real quick. We talk about, Jason Lee. Jason Lee. Do you guys remember? Let's see if I can give you a quick little rundown. Put a one in the chat if you know who Jason Lee is. And I'm not talking about Jason Lee, the actor. I'm talking about Jason Lee, the, he's a blogger. He does a lot of like celebrity news reporting, but he's also the vice mayor of the city of Stockton. He's been cleared. Let me pull everything up that I have here. So a couple months ago, I did a video on Jason Lee. Okay. And so Jason Lee, who is the vice mayor, let me see if I can move on to a different picture so y'all can see who I'm talking about. There's been so much controversy in him in this position. I'm telling you, it's like, I don't know, man. The drama and the reality TV show aspect of what's going on in Stockton is real. This is Jason Lee, okay? Jason Lee, yeah, he's like a mayor and a blogger, right? He got to start here on just blogging, talking about celebrities. So, like, he really got to start kind of in a really, it's kind of cool to see it start. I'll say that, right? There's some people that have some issues with him, some people that don't like him. That's cool. There's a lot of people I like that other people don't like. I'm good with that. Whatever. But Jason Lee was elected vice mayor of the city of Stockton, and he was facing scrutiny over an event called Wildin' Out. Okay. And he essentially, because he had his come up with Wildin' Out too, where he brought some celebrities and they held that comedy show over in the city of Stockton. And, he's trying to promote his city and bring talent to his city, Stockton, right? And there isn't a whole lot going on in Stockton, honestly, before Jason Lee. I mean, other than the Western shows. And I lived in this area growing up. I'm familiar with Stockton, okay? I'm familiar with Lodi, Modesto, all those areas. There isn't a whole lot going on in Stockton. So for Jason Lee, he really wanted to bring some talent, something different, and some different perspectives. And so he decided that he was going to get involved with Wildin' Out, and all of that took place in May of 2025. And apparently, all of that would have cost them $50,000. Not him. Would have cost the city public funds $50,000. Okay. And apparently, initially, when all this went down, he was accused of using public funds to fund this, while he was also a performer of the Wildin' Out show. So the question then became, well, Jason Lee, are you also getting paid by Wildin' Out while you're performing in the show? Then you're also kind of fixing the situation so that, you got Wildin' Out in Stockton and doing the most. So there was concerns about ethical boundaries and behaviors and stuff like that. There was an independent investigation that was commissioned by the Stockton City Council, and they found that Jason Lee did not, let me repeat this, did not break any laws or violate any city policies in connection with the events or the spending. He didn't do anything wrong. Jason Lee, early on, he cleared his name. He said, I had nothing to do with any of this. I brought in here, I recommended some of the talent because he had the connections, right? I recommended the people and the talent to come over here and perform. And, they threw out, they basically did a fantastic show, and there was a good turnout. Okay. Well, apparently, people did not like that. There was a lot of questioning about that. Him and the mayor do not get along. I mean, the mayor has alleged that she has received death threats ever since her fallout with Jason Lee. There has been back and forth. You see these city council meetings, and they always kind of get at each other's head about different things and whatnot. So keep that in mind. They just don't like each other. Okay. So this probe was conducted by an outside firm. So they hired an outside firm, which concluded that Lee did not misuse funds, abuse his power, or have an improper financial interest, essentially clearing him of any wrongdoing. Additionally, investigators did note that while Jason Lee met legal standards, some ethical questions about appearance of conflict were raised, suggesting that public officials sometimes need to consider ethics beyond what the law requires. So the Stockton City Council may continue discussing the findings and related policies. There may be need to, maybe this is a thing where, policies are changing. They change policies in the city and whatnot. Here's the thing why this matters, okay? I pointed this out and I didn't see anybody talking about this, okay? Maybe it's because I know this. Maybe it's because I saw this go down. Jason Lee, not Jason Lee. The city of Stockton filed for bankruptcy in like 2012. Okay. For like well over $1 million. The city of Stockton filed bankruptcy in 2012, and they have not been able to recover from that. They have not been able to, really be able to manage their funds and everything. So it does put the city of Stockton in a different map. How many? I mean, is that a typical thing? When I heard about Stockton, I'm like, well, when was the last time that there was a city that filed for bankruptcy? And this made news. I mean, there was a lot of investigations in 2012 because of the bankruptcy in the city of Stockton. So yeah, they look at Stockton a little bit different. They look at like, how are you managing your funds? And you got the city council, but Jason and some of the people just do not get along. Chicago did too. What year was this, Ronan? My goodness. I mean, I didn't even know that was a thing. Let me see if I can find out. What cities in the US have filed for bankruptcy? There's got to be a list. I didn't know that what was it? Was it Detroit, Michigan in 2013, Stockton, Cal. So okay. Oh my goodness. Look at this. Look at this. Detroit, Michigan, 2013 was the largest municipal bankruptcy in the US history. I didn't even know this. 18 million. 18 million. Yes, Illinois, sorry. Okay, gotcha. Thank you. 18 million. What? And then it follows by Stockton, 2 million. Okay? 2 million. I'm looking at other ones. So San Bernardino, California filed shortly after Stockton due to massive budget deficits and pension obligations. Wow. So, and then there was another Vallejo in California in 2008. One of the major cities to file during the Great Recession, largely due to high personal costs. And then there was Rhode Island in 2011, 80 million. A small city that filed for 80 million in unfunded pension liabilities. Chester, Pennsylvania, 2022, just recently, like what, 3 years ago, filed after decades of financial distress and remains in bankruptcy. And then Washington, 2025, opted for bankruptcy after being ordered to pay 22 million in damages to a real estate developer. Oh my, I can't even get through all of these. That's crazy work. That is crazy work. So anyways, congratulations, Jason Lee. His name has been corrected. I've done videos on it. I still think that Jason could do a better job in terms of, how he handles certain things in the city. But, that's just my thought. I think that, you don't mix your connections with your city stuff, because that there's always going to be somebody questioning, and somebody's always looking at you to see what you're doing. And I stand by on that, because I definitely believe that, they just look to see what else is going on, what you're doing. That's it. Hey, Sylvia. Hey, everybody. Okay. Let's move on. So I heard about this story yesterday, and I heard about a man in Pennsylvania. Did y'all hear about this one? A man in Pennsylvania. Let me see if I can. I don't want to mispronounce his name or anything like that. I think is it Jonathan? Jonathan. Is it Gerchlach? Arrested. So they found 100 skulls and mummified body parts found in Pennsylvania grave robbery case, police say. They had a press conference. I missed it yesterday, right? And apparently they found bones and skulls visible in the back seat of cars near an abandoned cemetery on Pennsylvania's outskirts. Led to police to a basement filled with body parts. Yeah, he was a bone collector, that's for sure. Clearly, Shelly, you ain't never lied. The bone collector. I have not watched this. I need to get the court documents as we speak. Let's get into this. This is the press conference. Put a one in the chat if you guys heard about the bone collector. Let me know, because I had not heard about this one. Let's go.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tanner Rouse. I'm the District Attorney of Delaware County, and we are here today because of the arrest of 34-year-old Jonathan Gerlach of Ephrata, Pennsylvania.
Gerlach.
Over the course of the last several weeks, detectives from Yeadon Borough as well as Delaware County CID became aware that from November of 2025 up until 2 days ago, January of 2026, Mount Moriah Cemetery had been burglarized by, at that point, an unknown individual. 26 separate mausoleums and or underground burial sites had been torn into and, for lack of a better word, desecrated. Investigation took place. Yeadon deserves a hell of a lot of credit on this for doing good old-fashioned police work, going through LPRs, tracking physical evidence, piecing together a suspect, cooperating with CID. We developed that suspect, we laid in wait, and we eventually watched and caught Mr. Gerlach as he desecrated yet another monument as recently as 2 days ago.
Ooh, what?
He was taken into custody. Search warrants were executed at his home in Ephrata, where over 100 human skeletons were recovered. And that's in part, at this point, we are still trying to figure out how many of those are complete and what exactly we are looking at. A separate storage locker was found to be in Mr. Gerlach's possession. That also was in Ephrata. We found there 8 more human remains. Very simply, detectives have recovered an awful lot of bones at this point, and we are still trying to piece together who they are, where they are from, and how many we are looking at, and it's going to be quite some time before we have a final answer. He is now arrested. Bail has been set at $1 million cash by Judge Williams. He is in on 26 counts of burglary, criminal trespass, and a host of other offenses. Kelly Wilson, who's handling our media affairs, is going to pass out a complaint so that you guys have the complete list.
You know what? That is so true. And I've talked about this before. This is not it's not regulated, guys. I've put a one in the chat if you know I've talked about this before. We had an issue in Colorado where they had to shut down a funeral home. They were stacking up bodies there, that like the smell was going crazy. Like they told people that their relatives have been cremated. They gave people fake cremains. This is not at all. This is an industry. You guys know that people make money. Thank you so much, James. I appreciate you. People make money off of body parts. And honestly, you lose your rights after you die. Like you do. It's not a very well regulated industry. It's not. You know those what is it called? You know those traveling museums, the ones with the body parts. Those ones, even them, you don't know what they consented to. There's an industry that like they sell body parts. They do different things. They use them for different things, y'all. What happens to you after death? People don't really have a whole lot of control. So this is we've talked about this. Hell, they even had one in Harbor. I put this on my community wall. The body exhibit. You don't know where they're coming from or to and where, or if anybody actually agreed to be used in that way. You literally, once the body is given to the funeral home, you don't know what happens afterwards. You don't know if the body was actually cremated unless you're back there checking. There's no real way to tell. So this is a real thing. When you said that it's not a regulated industry, you're right. I've done a lot of videos about it. Not a regulated industry at all. Yeah, so definitely. And James said it was cryptocurrency. Oh my God, James, thank you so much for the super chat. Guys, make sure you guys are hitting that like button, please, and thank you. You said, I believe they didn't even know how to charge the grave robber Ed. Yeah, they didn't. Because it's not like in our mind, we're not thinking that people would do something like that, but it's out there. People take body part. I'm not at all surprised. What I am surprised is, they charged this guy with like 600 charges. I have the charging document, so we'll get into that as soon as this press conference is done.
Charges at your disposal. Very simply, detectives walked into a horror movie come to life the other night, guys. This is an unbelievable scene that no one involved, from myself to the detectives to the medical examiners that are now trying to piece together what they are looking at, quite literally. None of them have ever seen anything like this before. When I was 16 years old, a friend of mine was killed in a car accident, and I personally have visited his gravesite, as many people do when they lose a loved one. I know his parents have also visited that site. I cannot imagine what it would put them through to know that someone like this guy had dug up those remains and was doing God knows what with them. It is truly, in the most literal sense of the word, horrific. I grieve for those who are upset by this, who are going through it, who are trying to figure out if it is in fact their loved one or their child, because we found remains that we believe to be months-old infants among those that he had collected. So,
oh my God.
Our hearts go out to every family that is impacted by this. Some of these are hundreds of years old. We are trying to figure out exactly what we are looking at. We quite simply at this juncture are not able to date and identify all of them. I want to make some thank yous here because this was truly a collaborative effort. As you guys can imagine, this spanned from here to Lancaster County. The Ephrata Police Department was instrumental in gaining access to and executing that search warrant. Philadelphia Police Department was cooperative. This is Mount Moriah Cemetery, and that spans Yeadon Borough into Philadelphia. We had to have their cooperation throughout this, guys. They were. Those cases are now going to be handled in Delaware County. We've reached out to law enforcement agencies there, and jurisdiction has been transferred to Delaware County. Pennsylvania Attorney General's office lent support throughout this process. Pennsylvania State Police, the Delaware and Lancaster County Medical Examiner's Office, who are now in possession of these remains. We thank them for their cooperation. This was obviously an overnight job. There's a lot that needs to be done to collect and humanely preserve these remains.
Guys, they have to go basically and re-identify people. Like, think about it. This is no walk in the park. When the funeral homes were doing this, they had to go back and like re-identify people. That's the thing. It's like, and then you have to contact people who they probably believe that their loved ones have died or passed around or passed away or whatever. And then they're having to relive this whole situation all over again. Just imagine having to go through this again. You thought you buried your loved one, and no, some sicko had your loved one's remains the whole time. This is some crazy work, guys. Let me hit play on this.
We're working diligently to make sure that happens. The Lancaster County District Attorney's Office, the Middle Creek Search and Rescue Canine Unit, which helped us get in there initially, and the Friends of Mount Moriah Cemetery. It should be noted, this happened at Mount Moriah. Mount Moriah did everything they could to cooperate with law enforcement and keep this from happening again. This happened, as you guys will see in the complaint, under the cloak of darkness, very much secreted from public view. This guy did everything in his power to secretly and silently grave rob. Mount Moriah did everything they could to stop him from doing it. But as you can imagine, a cemetery that size, it is very difficult. We thank them for their cooperation throughout this process. I'm going to turn it over now to Mayor Rohan Hepkins of Yeadon before we take questions.
That's crazy, man.
Thank you very much, Tanner, District Attorney Tanner Rouse. Just want to say this was quite a heinous act, very depraved. I've never heard anything like this. It defies logic or comprehension. And as the District Attorney just stated, it's something literally out of a horror movie. When you have your loved ones interred, you respect their remains, you respect them into perpetuity, and to have this type of heinous act happen is beyond dignity or anything that we can comprehend or imagine. So this started when the Friends of Mount Moriah reached out to me, and I got wind of it that Mount Moriah half of Mount Moriah is on borders Philadelphia, Southwest Philadelphia, and half of Mount Moriah is located in Yeadon, separated by Cobbs Creek. And I notified our chief, Henry Gianmarco, who deserves a lot of thanks and praise for this. And he sprung into action and had patrols at night detectives, and we caught him. We were on to got some leads and involved. Reached out to the district attorney, CID, and we caught him, I believe, 2 days ago. So I also want to give a shout out to the Aden Police Department for breaking the case, the Philadelphia Police Department, and of course our district attorney's office of Delaware County. And we want to send the word out that you cannot come into Aden in Delaware County and commit crimes.
Okay? Oh my God.
Be onto you. We're going to find you, and you're not going to be able to get away with something like this. So it could have been a lot worse if we didn't spring into action as quickly as we did. And for the families involved, they're grave sites that are over 200 years old. Mount Moriah is very historical because every war from the Revolutionary War, Civil War, World War II, and beyond have soldiers buried in that cemetery. As a matter of fact, Betsy Ross was first interred at Mount Moriah, I believe on the Yaden side, before her body was exhumed and brought back to Philadelphia in a special vault. So,
guys, like he was taking pictures with these bodies too. This is insane. Look. And I'm thinking, like, these are legit. Like, he was doing some crazy-ish. This is what he was doing. Still alive. Life has a way of drop-kicking us into change. Now living alone in the mountains, riding Harley and slinging skulls. That's him. That's his profile. Oh, my God. Like an aesthetic about him, right? That's crazy work. That's like he's got pictures on social media with all these skulls.
it's very historic, and I'm sorry that something like this happened, but thank God that we got to the bottom of it, and hopefully, and also one of the things I realized why it was an inviting target is that Mount Moriah is so open. It's hard to, it's not fenced in. There's easy access in like a million places. So it was easy to access that type of graveyard because it's just so open. But because of that, it should be pristine and kept and honored and treasured. But we have individuals today in today's world that don't respect any type of those boundaries or dignity. But I just want to thank everybody else involved at this time, including my police chief, Henry Gianmarco. I wonder if he has any words he'd like to share at this time.
Good afternoon, all. I just want to again echo what District Attorney Rouse said and also what Mayor Hepkin said. It's important to understand the collaboration of us working together with the District Attorney's Office. They've been supportive to us and they constantly support us. And special thanks to Detective Leah Sesnick from the Aden Police Department and also Detective Carr from CID. They did a hell of a job. And again, we're out there and having the support of Tanner and other local law enforcement agencies. It just shows when we break down silos, we can work together. Thank you.
If I didn't do enough thanking, I want to do it one more time. Detective Sesnick, who I know is around the corner, Detective Carr, this was really excellent work. It really was. This is good old-fashioned police work to make sure we got this guy. So I'm very appreciative of their efforts. So I'll thank them again. Then we'll take questions. If you could just do me a favor, identify yourself and where you're from, just so I can get to know you guys a little bit. I would appreciate it very much. Yeah.
Hi, Tina Durancy, NBC 10.
I do. How are you? Good.
So it's possible here that your detectives, your agencies didn't just crack a case that was happening in Yaden, because this does appear to be a statewide situation.
It almost certainly did not only happen in Yaden. Whether or not it's statewide and exactly what that means, Zena, we don't know at this point, but you're absolutely right. It is almost certain that this is not exclusive to Yaden.
Are you talking with investigators, say, in Plains Township, Luzerne County?
We are, yes, that outreach is beginning now. Truthfully, we were a little bit handcuffed because we didn't know what we were going to find in that house. Now that we are aware of the extent of what's going on, that's beginning more fully.
John Paul with 6 ABC. Can you tell us a little bit more about when you found these skeletons in the house? Where were they? What condition were they in? What was he doing with them?
So, John, a lot remains to be determined at this point. They were in the basement predominantly, although, as you can imagine, with 100 remains, it was not as though they were in an isolated area. We don't know exactly what he was doing with them. Time will tell. They were in various states. Understand, some of these are 200 years old. Some of them obviously much newer. There's one that had a pacemaker still attached to it. So clearly that's not too.
Oh my God.
We are trying to figure out exactly what went on in that home. It is still unclear, and given the enormity of what we are looking at and the sheer kind of utter lack of reasonable explanation, it's difficult to say right now at this juncture exactly what took place. We're trying to figure it out.
Did he have like videos that you guys were able to confiscate? Was he setting them up? What was he doing?
At this point, it's somewhat unclear. There were so many that they were in various states. Some of them were hanging, as it were. Some of them were pieced together. Some were just skulls on a shelf. We don't know exactly what we've got, what condition they are in. We're still figuring out, does this go with that, etc. So there was no signature thing that was taking place with each of these skeletons. It was a collection. He was doing various things with all of them. At this juncture, that appears as much organizational as anything else. It's not clear there was an MO.
Okay, and one last thing. Was anybody else in that house? Was it just him at the house, or were there other people there who knew what was going on?
Oh, shit.
Mr. Gerlach had a girlfriend, it turns out, who was at least around the home.
So she could have been aware. Have you talked to her?
We at this point.
He had a girlfriend. I mean, he's not a bad looking dude, guys, but the guy had a girlfriend. And like when she was like coming over, like, let's go cook some pasta. Well, all these things. I mean, this is like a lot of body parts. He's keeping them in the basement. He's keeping them all over. He had a girlfriend. Even the DA's, like the reaction that he has. Oh my God. I don't know. That's a great question. Did she know? Like, that would be my question. Like, where are these body parts coming from? Where are you getting these body parts? There's so many freaking corpses and body parts in it. Where's all this coming from? And then think of the smell. You have got to be kidding me. What? Let's keep playing this.
Where Mr. Gerlach is the one that is charged. I'm not going to say anything further in the investigation.
Oh my God.
Madeline, yeah, hi.
Hi, Madeline Wright, CBS Philadelphia.
Thank you.
A few questions. Was Mr. Gerlach stealing jewelry as well, or the remains, and was he selling any of this?
So we have now recovered jewelry. It's unclear, again, what that is connected to. We believe at least some of that was recovered with the remains. Whether that was his primary motive or not, we can't speak to at this point. We are working to figure out whether or not anything was sold. There are indications, but at this point, that's a little bit unclear.
There had been reports earlier this year, I believe, of other like mausoleum doors missing, things like that in various cemeteries in the area. Does it look like this is connected to that, or is that something else entirely?
It's preliminary, Alex. At this point, we don't have any indication they're necessarily connected. Certainly, we've got to run it down.
Do we know what equipment Mr. Gerlach was using to break into the graves?
There was, when he was arrested, he was recovered with a crowbar and some other pretty rudimentary items. It is not as though this was, there's no forklifts involved in this juncture that we can identify. It seems everything was handheld.
And how did the police become aware of this?
I don't want to get too deep into the investigation, Madeline, but actually just kind of good old-fashioned police work. They identified a suspect, identified his car, realized he started hitting on license plate readers around the time these break-ins occurred, and went from there. So it, again, started on a hunch and someone following some intuition where they very easily could have dismissed it. Instead, they went the extra mile, did some legwork, and found out that, in fact, their hunch had been corroborated by a number of factors. Obviously, it went from there, but that was the initial lead.
Was there any digging involved, or he just breaking the mausoleums?
There was some. I don't want to comment and get out ahead. Some of it was underground, some of it was above ground. So there was some breaking in, and I don't know exactly, John, as I stand here, whether or not he had to physically dig or go in. But there was definitely some underground and some above ground.
Can you describe the actual arrest at all? Do you know the particulars of how that went down?
Alex, as I stand here today, Detective Carr would be in a better position to answer that. It was relatively uneventful. It wasn't as though there was a struggle or anything.
Mm.
Do you think more arrests could be coming in this case?
At this point, I don't foresee anything, Madeline. I don't have any reason to believe. Certainly more charges are possible. I don't know there's going to be any more arrests. Is it possible with something of this scope? Certainly. It defies any logic, so I don't want to rule anything out. At the same time, we don't have any reason to believe he was working with anyone as he was doing this at this time.
That's crazy.
Real quick, to the Yaden chief, you've been in the business a long time. You ever seen anything along these lines ever?
No. After 30 years now, I can say this is probably the most horrific thing that I've seen. And again, to the families, as the district attorney pointed out, we all have loved ones that passed. Like, rest in peace is rest in peace. And this is definitely something that tears your heartstring, especially when you see, as he pointed out, an infant having children and grandchildren.
Oh my God.
It was definitely an event. And again, thanks to the support of the district attorney's office and the unwavering support of the mayor and and the detectives and the officers we have in Yaden, we're truly blessed to have a great team.
Understanding it's early days, but have you been able to identify any families of these remains and spoken to them at all yet?
There are the 26 specific instances, Alex, which we are aware of where a grave was broken into. We have not been able to necessarily link those up, but we do know those are instances of specific break-ins. Beyond that, not at this point.
Was it the cemetery staff who noticed that there was some damage and then contacted the mayor and then the mayor contacted police?
Yeah, the Friends of Mount Moriah, who have board members from both Philadelphia and Yaden, noticed that some grave sites were desecrated and notified the Philadelphia Police Department, Yaden Police Department through me. I'm actually on the board, and I notified our chief, and that really started the resolution of this to date.
And the 100 remains that were found, are they all from the cemetery in Yaden, or they could be from other cemeteries?
No, we believe, Madeline, they are from other cemeteries as well. We can't say for absolute certain.
Oh
at this
my
point,
God.
but it seems almost certain that they are beyond Mount Moriah.
The only way to identify anybody at this point would be to through dental records. Let's just pray that that everybody has dental records, because he was going as far back. I mean, some of these are historic. And then, like somebody said in the chat, well, what if those relatives of those people also died? Some of it is going to have to be like through his dental records. Is the only way to identify people sometimes, honestly. But yeah, let me keep playing this. And then, by the way, I got an email on another true crime case that's breaking right now. I haven't really followed this one. Put in one in the chat if you know about the Ohio couple that was found both dead. Is that correct? I'm not too familiar. We'll talk about this here in a minute. But there's another one that's breaking right now. Let's finish this and then we'll transition over.
Any other reports about other cemeteries?
Of course, there are other reports out there. We have not been able to corroborate, does this match up with what we're finding? And frankly, again, like I said, I don't know that we ever will. There are other reports. We're looking into it.
How common is this?
Not very. Thank God. No, I as the chief alluded to, I can think of other instances in which we've heard of someone literally grave robbing, right? Going down there and stealing jewelry or stealing something of that nature. We've all heard of desecration of corpse cases where someone's doing something to a dead body. I've never heard of any situation, I've been this is 16, almost 17 years, where someone's stealing and collecting bones like this. This is different.
A lot of these incidents, at least the cell phone ping was on Halloween. Do you have any reason to believe there's some sort of connection there? Was he using them as like Halloween decoration?
There was no evidence, John, of, as I said, anything concerted. That there just isn't anything going on in that basement that leads you to believe, okay, I don't rationalize it, I don't get it, but I see what is happening here. There doesn't seem to be a whole lot of rhyme or reason.
Is he part of a satanic cult of some sort, or
Not to anyone's knowledge at this point.
Oh,
And certainly he doesn't give any indication of such.
There's a Facebook page of somebody with the same name, Jonathan Gerlach, and there's a picture of him holding a skull.
Yes, there is.
And part of a group that says Human Bones and Skull Selling Group. Is that the investigation?
It is.
told you.
And that Facebook page belongs to the suspect?
It's part of the investigation. We are working to confirm all that, Madeline, and what that might have led to, the veracity of any of that. It doesn't strike me as a coincidence, but we need to figure out if anything's actually happening with that, or if this guy was just taking skeletons and talking a big game on Facebook.
You talking
I
about
knew
the
it.
local schools to see if they maybe bought any of these bones in the past year or so?
I don't know, Alex, the outreach that's happened just yet.
If someone was buying bones from that person, is that illegal?
I have to be honest with you, Madeline. I'd have to look into it. I don't know that it would be unless they had reason to know what this was. The bone trafficking laws are new to me. Any other? Okay. Thanks, guys.
Woo. All right. So that was that. Let me remove this real quick. Because it's gonna. We'll do that. Hopefully it doesn't start playing. Wow. I knew that there was going to be a financial aspect to the bone situation just because it just doesn't surprise me at all. This is what happens. I highly doubt that he was collecting just to collect. He was probably making money off of that and had no problems doing it. I mean, like I said, the bodies, what happens after a body and all of that is a money-making industry. Once people understand that, people think that once you die, well, okay, like, no, like people, you have no rights after that. Like no one's really advocating for you. Nobody really thinks about, what's the word? The dead like that. That's why it's kind of like why people get away with stuff all the time. Okay. I want to transition a little bit. I'm not familiar with this case, but somebody brought this to my attention and said, hey, can you talk about this? And I have a couple minutes here. So yeah, why don't we go ahead and do that? So this, and for those that have been following, let me know. I pulled 2 articles from it. So you have a dentist's wife did not make tearful 911 calls month before couple was found dead. So you have a couple in Ohio, okay, that apparently were found dead, shot. And now we have, I think it's the ex-husband of the wife who has been arrested, my understanding. So let me go back a little bit just so I understand the dynamics of this case. Okay. You have 37-year-old. Oh, sorry about that. Let's see. Pull some more information. Is the city, you said the city of Bell? The city of Bell? I thought the fam had rights to the body. That they say that they do. I don't think that they do, honestly. I think that, people think that, okay, like they gave me the remains and that's it. You don't even know if they're giving you the right remains. People don't ever check on that, honestly. Let's see. I'm trying to pull some information on this story. I'm not familiar with it. Okay, so this is what we have. So we have December 30th of 2025. So that's literally a week ago now. Ohio dentist Spencer, is it Tepe or Tepe? Tepe? I think it's Tepe. Tep. Let me know in the chat. I want to make sure I say it correctly. He's 37 years old, and his wife, Monique, 39, were found shot to death in Wineland Park in Columbus, Ohio. As of January 2026, the case remains an active investigation. Well, it says with no current suspects in custody, but I think that there's an update. So what we understand, the timeline of events, and like I said, I'm not familiar with this case. It's Tepe? Is that correct? Tepe. Storm, let me know if I said it correctly. Thank you. So what we know so far, timeline wise. So December 30th at about 2 a.m. to 5 a.m., police believe the murders occurred during this window, 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. on December 30th. Surveillance footage captures a person of interest in a dark hoodie and light-colored pants walking in a nearby alley during this time. On December 30th, around 2:31 a.m., a neighbor calls 911 to report someone banging and smashing on her door. Though it is unconfirmed if this was related to the murders. Then again, on December 30th at about 9:03 a.m., a friend and a coworker called 911 for a wellness check after Spencer failed to show up at his dental practice. Again, December 30th at about 9:22 a.m., the initial responding officer went to the wrong address, spending 10 minutes checking the incorrect house. Again, December 30th at approximately 10 a.m., officers arrived at the correct residence and discovered the bodies. January 5th, 2026, Columbus police released surveillance of a video of a person of interest to the public. So the scene, there was no signs of forced entry. The home was not ransacked, and no firearms was recovered at the scene. The couple's two children, ages 1 and 4, were found physically unharmed inside the home and are now in the care of relatives. Oh my God. Cause of death. The Franklin County Coroner's Office preliminary report indicates both died from gunshot wounds. Ruling out suicide. Authorities quickly ruled out a murder-suicide based on the lack of a weapon at the scene. Now, recent developments. Police are currently processing numerous tips regarding the individual seen in the alleyway video. Past incidents. Investigators are reviewing a 911 call from April 2025 regarding a domestic dispute at the home. However, family members have stated that the voice on that call was not Monique, but rather a guest experiencing a mental health breakdown. So then, wow, okay. Let me see something. So so we have an arrest, I guess. This was a day ago, all right? And this is pertaining to the couple, beautiful, gorgeous couple. And it looks like a lot of people have been talking about it. I'm not familiar with this. I'm new to it, right? But if you guys know, let me know. So apparently Monique had an ex-husband, and the ex-husband, this guy right here, which we could pull a mugshot. It's right here. He's the one that's been charged with the murder. Slain woman's ex-husband charged with murder. The ex-husband of the woman who, along with her current husband, was shot dead last month, has been charged in the killings. His name is Michael David McKee, is now in custody. He's accused of shooting and killing Spencer and Monique in their Wineland Park home on December 30th. The family members confirmed to ABC6 Saturday that McKee is Monique's ex-husband 52 minutes ago. So the Columbus Police Homicide Unit identified a suspect vehicle through neighborhood surveillance. The vehicle was found in Rockford, with evidence linking McKee to following it to the homicides. Excuse me. Columbus police officers discovered the couple in their home on North 4th Street on December 30th after responding to a wellness check for Spencer, who failed to show up for work at his dentistry practice in Athens. They went to the wrong address initially. Oh my God. So the ex-husband did it? What a scumbag. Brian Enton as a show. I'll check it out. Coco's mom. Thank you. Y'all let me know what you guys think. He said, I heard about the update from Brian Enton. He posted a short about it. Okay, I'll check it out. Wow. So that's crazy work. Like I said, I'm new. I'm not familiar. I hadn't even looked into it or anything like that. Wow. So the ex-husband, I mean, talk about motive. That would be it right there. That's crazy work, guys. That is insane. Let me see if I can pull some info right now. Let's see. Brian Enton investigates. He just did a short, you said? Shout out to Brian Enton. Oh, here it is. Okay.
Hey guys, so some breaking news in the murders of Spencer and Monique Tepe, the dentist and his wife who were found murdered in Columbus, Ohio, inside their home. There has now been an arrest. Monique's ex-husband, 39-year-old Michael McKee, has been arrested and charged with murdering Monique and Spencer. We know that he has been taken into custody. Apparently, he's going to be extradited back to Columbus. That's pretty much all I know at this point. But the backstory here is Monique and Spencer Tepe were found dead in their home in Columbus. Spencer was found shot multiple times. Monique was found shot one time in the chest. Their kids were alive. Their young children were found alive in the house. You remember the 911 calls. Spencer, the dentist, didn't show up to work, and his colleagues were extremely concerned. Well, now there has been an arrest. We're going to get more information soon, but again, it's 39-year-old Michael McKee, according to the Columbus Dispatch. That is Monique's ex-husband. I'll keep you guys posted. Hey guys, so
Wow. I mean, y'all, like, this is crazy work. So did they just get married? I mean, they have 2 children, right, together. Monique and her husband Spencer. They have 2 children. So let me go get this straight. Her ex from years ago, she was remarried and had a family now. That's what it sounds like. I mean, luckily he didn't hurt the children. How long had they been married? I mean, not with the ex, but so she was married to her new husband for 5 years, Spencer. I haven't been keeping up with the story. The coolest jazz. They have 2 children. I mean, he didn't hurt oh man. That'd have been horrible if he had done something to the children. Honestly, it would have been a 5-year anniversary. Wow. So these were bio children to Monique and Spencer Tepe. Tepe were married for 5 years. But so she's been married. She's moved on. Why did he go and he shoot her? What was the motive? Was he bothering her? Was he like stalking her? I'm so confused. Like what would have been the motive out of all of that? So here is this was Law and Crime, right? See if we can. This was the wrong address, I think. They're doing a wellness check. Jealousy? 5 years later?
Unit 43.
You know what? Let me stop. Jealousy, listen, it's a real thing. You know, people got to be careful, man. I believe it. That's why I always believe in protecting yourself and your family and everything. You just never know, man. You never know how you think that people are, done with something, and then 5 years later or a couple years later it resurfaces again and they can't let shit go. It's a real thing. It's scary. Do what you have to do to protect yourself. Most importantly right now is how he knew he could safely get inside. Was the door unlocked, the window open? You know what, First Liberties podcast is a great question. Like, how did he even know to get inside the property or where to go from? They believe that they must have been asleep, right? You said, yeah, 5 years. I bet there was people that I believe in protection orders. I believe in taking care of yourself. Don't be playing on the internet, on anywhere, and sometimes people aren't okay even after 5 years of remarried and other children. Sometimes people aren't okay. But you know what? Like First Liberties podcast said right here, he had to have known how to break into the home if he knew where to go and what. Like, this is just scary. Scary. Oh my God, the whistling is just too much.
This is newly released body cam video we just received from the city of Columbus, showing the first police officer to respond to a call related to the case of Spencer and Monique Tepe. But the officer in this video went to the wrong address, according to the chief of police. Police in Ohio are finally speaking to the public about the investigation into the murders of Spencer and Monique Tepe. What the Columbus police chief is now saying about where they are in the investigation.
Okay. Got several calls on that. What's changed since the last person I talked to?
There's a body.
There's a body inside?
Yeah.
Also, the chief giving somewhat of a shocking update with a key detail from the police response after multiple frantic 911 calls were made from friends and concerned coworkers of the Tepes, people who knew that something wasn't right. We're on the case presented by Law and Crime. I'm Chris Stewart.
Yeah. I mean, that sounds like they might have been stalked for a while and he was looking for the opportune time to do it. December 30th. And then the kids were inside. I mean, luckily he didn't hurt the kids, but still, like this whole situation is just bad. Let me go. I'm going to try to.
Careful.
Yes.
If anything changes, call us back.
Okay.
So the chief confirmed to local media outlets what Spencer's brother-in-law told us here at Law and Crime this week, and that is the female voice you hear on that call, that is not Monique Tepe's voice. But the chief is also telling local media outlets a little bit more context as to where that call may have been coming from and whether this call could be important to the investigation. Now, the biggest piece of information that we do have at this point when it comes to this investigation and what's been given out to the public by police, it's this video. It's the person of interest walking down an alley behind Spencer and Monique's home in the early hours of December 30th. Police are continuing to call out to the public to see if anyone has more video from a time frame of between 2 and 5 o'clock in the morning on December 30th. That is believed to be the time that police think that Spencer and Monique were killed. Now, you can see in the video that they have put out, even though it's grainy, there could be some clues to take away, because you see that this person, it appears to be a male. They're wearing gray pants, black shoes, a black coat, and they're walking down this alley in the middle of the night. This is a Tuesday morning this happened.
He knew where to go and where to get in and everything. I mean, definitely targeted, and they must have been asleep. Maybe they were shot. I'm thinking shot in their sleep, right?
Temperatures were in the 20s. This was the day before New Year's Eve. Now, you can see that this person of interest, they're not looking at the camera, and maybe that's on purpose. This alleyway is one that you can drive down. It gives access to the detached garages behind the townhomes where Spencer and Monique lived. And this is a drone shot from the Tepe's wedding video. It was shot by Spencer's brother-in-law, and you can see the back alley and these fairly new-looking townhomes all in a row. And again, the Tepe's lived in one of those homes. Now, the person of interest, they keep their head down. They don't look up. It's unclear if they know that there are cameras in the back of these homes or maybe on garages as they walk down the street. You do see that in that person of interest video. It's a Nest camera. So this isn't like an official police camera that's out there, but the type of thing that somebody puts on the back of their home if they're maybe concerned about someone trying to break into their garage or someone going through their trash. Now, this person of interest also, they have some mannerisms that you hope that someone watching this video would notice. It looks like they might be pigeon-toed. Police are emphasizing that, again, this is a person of interest. They don't know if this is the killer, if this is the person that they're looking for. The police chief did tell local media that this is really just a person who is in the area at the time where they are really focusing their investigation. This person may just be a person walking down the street after maybe spending time at a bar that closed late on a week where a lot of people were off work because of the holidays. We don't know, but you do consider the circumstances. This is suspicious. And also, we haven't heard if anyone has seen this video. Maybe they recognize that it is them walking down the alley. Maybe they were heading home from a bar or something like that.
Wow.
And yet, days after this video, which is being plastered on the news and on the internet, no one's come forward saying, hey, that was me. It's a big misunderstanding. I'm not the person you're looking for. So
I wonder, since it's the ex-husband, are they going to have a press conference over this and figure out, like, let them know how and why they're charging the ex-husband with the murders at this point? Well, has he been, do we know, or what? Where are we? Like, oh my gosh. There's been a warrant that's been filed. Let me see something real quick. And I think that it sounds like she had moved on with her life. There was nothing else to this. I mean, she had moved on with her life. She did divorce. Everything was done. And I see divorce documents have already been posted out. So what was the issue? Like, it's crazy. Rabbit, I'm so I've been following this guy. Have you? I'm not familiar with it. I'm just like getting my feet wet on it. So I apologize. I don't know too much about it. Yes, the ex-husband has just been arrested, correct? That is correct. We just pulled this mugshot. But he knew when to get in and everything. I mean, he knew what. Yeah, that's what we know so far, is that the ex-husband has been arrested. I'm trying to see if there's going to be a press conference at all. Let me see. Press conference. It'd be good if we can kind of know what next steps are going to take or what. While we're live. Because there's no answers. They had a press conference yesterday. The Columbus police chief talked about this yesterday.
Probably was the most high-profile case.
But there hasn't been a press conference yet.
What's the latest?
They do. The ex-husband.
Yep. So obviously this is a national news case. I just want to preface that by saying that we think that every single case that we have is high profile. We care about every single case that we have, which is why we don't just stop when a year ends, we don't stop investigating it, which is why we have 30 additional cases from previous years that are solved. Our detectives work diligently to close every single case to bring justice to every single family, which is why we have 100 homicides solved last year. In this case in particular, what we do know is that obviously we received a call for a well-being check related to the 2 victims involved in this case. There was an officer that was dispatched to go to that well-being check. Unfortunately, he did respond to the wrong location initially. He went to the wrong location, and in him believing that he was at the right location, he did everything that he was supposed to do. Knocked on the doors, checked the backyard, did all those things, but it was not the right location. Approximately about maybe 40 minutes later, we had received another call because the coworkers of one of the victims stated that they had not reported to work and they were really concerned. So they went to the house, and that's when subsequently the bodies were found of the 2 victims as it relates to this case. We are working very diligently to try to solve this case. We know that people are concerned, and we know that people have a lot of questions. What we're asking for is patience as it relates to this investigation.
So this was yesterday, guys. We have an arrest already for those that are coming in. Slain woman's ex-husband charged with murder. It was the ex-husband who's been charged with murder. I think they have the charging documents out. I'm just wondering, are they going to hold something to answer some questions? Some of us are fairly new to the case and whatnot. I'm looking. I see somebody on Reddit has posted the look at this. Ex-husband arrests made in Tepe murders. He's been charged with murder. There it is. There it is. Yeah, I heard dogs too. Did you hear that too? Did they have pets? Because they had the children inside. Did they have pets too? So this is the screenshot of what looks to be like the charging documents or something. Y'all let me know what you guys think in the comments. I mean, like I said, wow. And his name, ex-husband is Michael David McKee. Okay. Michael David McKee. Murder, first, and when it says charges and action code murder, and then they put another one for murder. So for both of them. So what happened? He knew where to go. He knew how to get inside the property. He walks away like kind of like nothing, like he, did nothing and whatever. I mean, that's just the scary part for sure. Okay. You said, oh my God, Stella, thank you so much for gifting 10 memberships, love. Shout out to you. You said, hold up. You said that there was a dog? Thanks for the memberships. Yay. Thank you, guys. Put some hearts in the chat. Thank you, Estella. Thank you. Appreciate you. But was he in the property when they were shot? You said, I know they have a device that can unlock automobile cars. They have key fobs. Do they have the same kind of device that can unlock the keypads on the house? It's a great question. It had to be somebody that knew how to get in. Well, he's been charged. It is crazy work. Doreen, you know my word, crazy work. It's crazy work. Maybe he was friendly with them and knew the family dynamics. Yeah. The kids weren't hurt, thank God. But was there a dog? No worries, Lady Pamela. Thank you. Let's see. That's the first time I've heard of a dog. He was very friendly dog. He was in the wedding. Oh. So did the dog... Poor dog. The kids, nobody deserves any of this. I mean, I'm glad, this whole situation's horrible. He didn't hurt the kids. So the kids and the dog survived. Can you imagine a 1-year-old and a 4-year-old, guys? 1-year-old and a 4-year-old. This is the holiday season and they're waking up to something like that. Probably don't even know what the hell is going on. They were asleep. That's crazy. Do we know anything else about the ex-husband? That's the question that I have. What else do we know about him? Let's see. I'm going to see if I can find any information outside of the arrest. Will we have a press conference? His name is Michael David McKee. Press conference. Let's see if we can have anything out here over that. Nope. I don't see anything yet posted. I don't, it's Saturday too, so I don't know if they are going to do anything at this point at all. I see there's a ex-husband arrested. Yep. The news is catching up. Huh. It's horrible. Ashley Banfield said authorities were trying to interview the 4-year-old before the arrest happened. Really? I don't know how far they're going to get. Can you imagine? I mean, I'm assuming the 4-year-old was probably asleep. By the way, cops say to keep the devices from unlocking your cars, to keep your key fob wrapped in foil at night or while your vehicle is not being driven. Okay. I watched a gal who pulled their divorce docs. Oh, yes, I did see that. Your car logs can be hacked. Anything can withdraw. I heard that they can hack them too. Dog isn't important. Let's see why the state is accusing the ex-husband. He's presumed innocent. Let's see what probable cause. Well, I'd like to see what the documents look like, for sure. But I'm just like, oh, okay, I'll check it out. Anisek, I'll check it out. Thank you. They have special people to interview the children. They do that kind of specialize in those kinds of things. In trauma you have people that specialize in that they're able to ask those kinds of questions and whatnot. I just don't think how much you're going to get from a 4-year-old. It's kind of harder. No, they did not shoot the dog. They did not shoot the dog at all. I don't think that's the case at all. Hold up. Maybe he hired somebody. Then if he hired a hitman, then there would be somebody else, right? There'd be like multiple people that are being charged at that point, I would think. You said, yeah, they could definitely hack your mobile phones. That's for sure. We might have to get our hands into those papers and documents and figure out what happened exactly. You said smart electronic meters have SIMs so they can be hacked. I think anything can be hacked nowadays. The ex-husband is a surgeon? What? I think I read somewhere that was the case too, but I wasn't sure if I was the only one who read that. The ex-husband is a surgeon? Girl, what? Let me see something real quick. So when I put his name on Google, yeah, there's a surgeon, but I don't think that's him. That's a surgeon from Arizona, y'all. Oh man, let's make sure y'all got the right information. Is it are you sure it's the right guy? Let's make sure that that's correct, okay? I'm just with it because there's somebody else by the same name who's pulling up as a surgeon, but he's not even in the state of. They're not in the same state. They're not in Ohio. See, let me go to this news right here. So here we have. You said, yeah, that would be absolutely wild. I don't think it's the same one. So, okay, so he's a doctor. Yeah, there has to be evidence of a hitman. There was. So you're saying that he's a doctor, the ex-husband, the one that's arrested now. Hold up. Okay. Sorry, I got an email right when I was live. They're extraditing him to Illinois. That's what they said. I don't know, but let's figure this out. So ex-husband arrested in connection with the murder of Ohio dentist and his wife. So the ex-husband of a woman who was found dead with her husband in Ohio home is accused of fatally shooting the couple. So Spencer and Monique were found dead in their Columbus home on December 30th from an apparent gunshot wound. Now, Michael David McKee of Chicago, Illinois, was arrested Saturday in connection. Oh, my camera went out. In connection with the incident, with 2 counts of murder. The 39-year-old Monique, hold up, get a new battery. The 39-year-old Monique were married for about 2 years before they were divorced in 2017. The pair had no children together. Okay. So they didn't have any kids together. That's just like, why? They're not sharing custody. What happened? Like, what would have made, I don't know. Okay. So let's keep going. The officer responded to the couple's home after several concerned friends and coworkers called to report that Spencer Tepe, a local dentist, had not shown up to work and Monique Tepe was not answering the phone. In one 911 call, a man reported seeing a body and blood in the couple's home. Whoa, really? Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to set up my camera. I might start a new live and see if there's a press conference for this. The couple were 1 month shy away of celebrating their 5th wedding anniversary. Their 2 young children also found in the home unharmed. Okay. Now, let me make myself a little bit smaller here. 1 second. So they were found unharmed. Okay. He was a vascular surgeon? No, the camera battery died. You know how the camera batteries is. Investigators, so a video showing of a person of interest wearing a hooded jacket was released by Columbia Police this week. 3 9mm shell casings were found inside the home, police said. Investigators believe the couple was killed between 2 a.m. and 5 a.m. on December 30th. McKee is being held in a facility outside of Ohio, and his next court date is scheduled for Tuesday afternoon, according to online records. A motive for the shooting still remains unclear. So right now, this is all very preliminary. We're like he's being held. He's being charged with 2 murders, with the murder of both. We don't really know a whole lot of details. We don't know the motive. I can think of a lot of reasons, motive-wise, right? Because, unfortunately, that's just, I mean, to me, it's like there's no kids in between them. They're not sharing custody. Something must have happened. Something must have flipped. 5 years of being divorced. I think I heard somebody in the chat said that they had met, that Monique and Spencer had met on a dating website or something. She never, she was not cheating or anything like that. It wasn't anything like that. I mean, she just moved on with her life. And it sounds like maybe he was struggling with that and whatnot. You said he probably hated seeing her happy. Maybe that's what it was. He just didn't want to see her happy. Could very well be the case, that does happen. If I can pull the divorce records, put a 1 in the chat if you would want to see that. Let me know. I don't think I'd have a problem pulling any divorce records from any of them. Let me see. Hold up. I'll have to check. I think I could probably pull the divorce records depending on what access I have. Okay. I think it'd be good to just kind of see. I mean, he is being charged. It does kind of make you wonder what happened exactly, what went about the situation. On paper, it sounded amicable. Really? Okay. Well, let's figure that out. Then what flipped? What led police to the ex-husband? That's the question. What flipped? What led police to the ex-husband? This is what people on the Reddits are saying. Monique had told some mutual friends that if anything ever happened to her, that it would be her ex. Our mutual friends have been working with the police since day 1. Oh, shit. How many years has one been divorced? That's awful. I believe 9 years. So they've been divorced 9 years? Then she remarried 5 years ago. I saw something in another thread where someone was claiming that Monique lived in Virginia with the ex and was miserable. Her family apparently packed her up and brought her back to Ohio. Apparently afterwards, the ex claimed that he was going to buy a house next to her. Assuming the news is true, it would seem to fit that he's an obsessed ex-husband. Wow. Yeah, there was a police camera very close. That's interesting. Let me find out more information. We'll definitely dig into this case a little bit more because now I'm kind of curious. And I'm totally new to it. I don't know too many details. If I can find the divorce documents, I'm going to get into it. But do me guys a favor. Please hit the like button. I do have to head out because I got to go tend to baby bunny. And shout out to James and Stella's mom, Erin. Thank you guys for supporting the channel. Make sure you guys watch the first video that we did this morning. I uploaded it. It got flagged. So I think it's very important that we put that news out there because nobody's talking about it. Please, please, please just go watch it. Hit the like button, share it. It would really help out. I'll see you guys on the next one. Let me find out more information. Bye, guys.